What's going on, guys? This is John from Texas Wiles.
Rooster from Rooster Outdoors.
And you are listening to the Wiley Rooster Boys Outdoor Podcast.
What's up, man?
What's up, man? Episode 3.
What you been up to?
Well, I ain't been on the water, I can tell you that. Guys, if y'all didn't listen last week, I kind of gave away a little spoiler. My kayak is now motorized. I apologize if I seem exhausted right off the bat, because I am exhausted. But I put a trolling motor on my kayak. Difficulties already. And in order to, be legal here in Texas, you have to have your kayak registered. You got to have your TX numbers on the boat. And it really wasn't too bad. I went down there the other day, and it was $59 to get the initial registration. And then it will be
one-time fee.
Yes, it's just the one time. And then you will do $32 every 2 years. They give you your registration sticker, but you have to go buy your numbers to put them on. They have to be 3-inch numbers. And what was crazy is, let me grab this.
Do they got to be a certain color or what?
I didn't see anything about color. I just saw size.
Okay.
And I was going to tell you about this. See, there's the I ain't put them on yet. Okay. But I was going to tell you that every question that we were, sorry about all the noise, guys, getting something out of here. The questions that we were having about how to do it, well, it's all right here in the Outdoor Annual. The price, the placement, the regulations that require everything is all right there on page 25 of this year's Outdoor Annual. So any of you guys listening, you're interested in getting your yak registered, and you got an Outdoor Annual for 21 through 22, go to page, whatever I just said. What did I say, 25?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, page 25. That'll answer all your questions.
Dude, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad. What'd you say, $32 for 2 years?
Yeah.
That ain't bad.
No,
you can live with that.
No, I was going to take it out today, but, beautiful day. It's like in the 40s, I think, but it's almost 50. But man, yeah, you're right. That wind, it's ridiculous, man.
That Bondi handles it, pretty good. But I don't know, man.
But I don't.
Pretty rough out there.
I don't like the cold.
Yeah.
I used to. But
yeah, I'm curious to see how that thing's gonna run, man. I really am.
I got to figure out how I'm going to launch. I don't know, and that's why I want to make sure I get out there on the water with this trolling motor. Guys, if it's a little bit different than any of the other setups that you've seen on a Bonafide. If you guys go to my channel on Texas Wiles, you'll see, I think it's the latest video. Well, I guess this will be the latest video now, but it's called Bonafide SS 127 trolling motor install, I think, with the Yak Gadget pod mount. And if you guys haven't checked that out, go to these guys right here, Mariner Sales.
Yes, sir.
And get it from them, because it's going to sound like I'm bashing Yak Gadget, and I'm not. And I may have spoke on this last week, but I ordered that pod mount from them online, and because it said it was in stock and all that stuff. 1 second, Bullets. I'll answer that question. They said they were in stock and all that stuff, so I'm like, all right, cool. I order it, and like 8 or 9 days go by, it hadn't even shipped. And I messaged them, and I was like, hey, y'all, what's going on? And they said, oh, hopefully we'll have it shipped out early next week, because our shipment of plastic is delayed. And I'm like, then why does it say in stock on your website? So I canceled that order, and I called Mariner Sales, and they shipped it to me, and I think I had it within 2 or 3 days. But the folks over at Mariner Sales are awesome.
Yeah, dude, they're way awesome. And I'm with you. Why would you say a product is in stock, and then you're like, oh wait, this is back ordered? Sorry, guys.
Right.
I mean, this is what this website does.
Yeah, exactly. And bullets, to answer your question, he says, how big of a motor? It goes by thrust, right? And yeah, this mount, this bracket that I got for the trolling motor, it's made for 30-pound thrust or below. So I got a 30-pound thrust Minn Kota that I put on it, and yeah, if you watch the video, man, it looks it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
The way it is, I can steer with my knees if I want to. I don't need to, but if I wanted to, like, set it on a slower speed and just troll, I could fish and steer with my knees.
Yeah. And that yak gadget, they're pretty good, but those attachments, correct me if I'm wrong, what is it? It's Feel Free, Big Fish, Bonnie's.
I think that's it.
Is that it? And
I'm having some issues here, folks. My internet keeps on dropping out, so if I get a little bit blurry.
But we still got your audio, so
okay, cool.
On that aspect.
But I don't know. Are there any other yaks out there on the market that have removable pods?
I don't know neither, but I do say Feel Free just as a wink.
Yeah. Well, I imagine Native does, because technically,
I was thinking it was Native or Old Town or something like that I thought I seen on there. I don't know. I might have to look and see here.
I'm thinking that Native probably does, because I want to say that Bonnie is under Native now. I think the Bonafides and the Natives are made by the same company.
Really?
Okay. I believe.
Well, they're both decent kayaks, so I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. But,
and I am just now realizing that I am signed in to this streamer as guest. I'm not signed in as admin, so you got to do all the good stuff. That's strange.
Well, okay.
But anyway, as
it's just been a fun Saturday so far.
I am telling you,
we had none but problems today.
Yeah. Oh well. But we're getting close to our first break, so the one thing I do want to go into before we go to break is tungsten versus lead. This is just going to be like a little quip, because I was thinking about this the other day. I was listening to Gene Jensen. I don't remember if it was on Paddle and Fin or if it was on one of his Friday Night Lives. I don't know. But if you guys don't know who Gene Jensen is, he's a fluke master. Awesome guy. He's actually like one of the first 3 people to start doing fishing stuff on YouTube. He started back in like 2002, 2003. And it's really cool dude. I've never met him. And this isn't a plug or anything. It's just I like his stuff. But tungsten versus lead. And the way he put it is that he only uses tungsten now for one reason. He said it seems like he'll get more fish with tungsten. And in my head, I'm thinking, why does that matter? You got a weight is a weight. And then with the way he put it, well, if you have them right now, take you a lead bullet weight and take you a tungsten bullet weight. Tap them on your table. And what happens? That lead one absorbs that sound a lot better, whereas the tungsten clicks a lot more. And the way he was saying it is that you're bouncing that tungsten off the rocks, getting more sound, more attention, and stuff like that. And that makes sense.
Absolutely. I mean, anybody that's ever fiddled with one or the other, I mean, you can tell. Real obvious. It's night and day.
It is. But only thing is, tungsten's expensive.
It is
ridiculously expensive. And he said that what he did for like 2 or 3 years, he said every paycheck he put back $20 and he bought tungsten weights, whether he needed them or not, for like 3 years. So I cannot imagine how many he has right now.
Yeah.
And we went through a spell. What was that? Right whenever Rona hit, we went through a spell where you couldn't find weights. Well, for that matter, you really couldn't find fishing gear, period.
Not really.
We went to this. We were multiple stores. We'd go in there and they're just bare, man.
Dude, kayaks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at my Feel Free. I was looking at that thing a year ago and couldn't find it.
Yeah,
and it wasn't just Feel Free. I mean, it was a lot of. I mean, the best story I got, it wasn't so much that they were short on materials. It was because of regulations. They could only have X amount of people working at the time, so they were working at full capacity to the best they could.
Yeah.
Production was slow.
I got lucky on mine, man. That Bonnie, because you were standing. I was. I was in the maintainer, wasn't I? I was in the blade. We were blading over there on something.
The look on your face, though.
Yeah.
The look on his face when he had that pull out that credit card and
Whew.
essentially sign his life away on that thing. I was like, ooh, he was like, man, buyer's remorse, something bad.
Yeah. Well, what happened was I'd called. Where did I buy mine? Anglers.
There was another place.
Anglers Pro Tackle.
Yes.
Yeah, North Richland Hills. But so I called them, and I said, "Hey, do you have the Top Gun Gray bona fides in?" And they're like, "No, not right now, but we have a truck coming in, and all this, that, and the other." And I was like, "All right, well, can I call you back tomorrow and see what's up?" And like, yeah. So I called them back, and they said that like 90% of all the yaks on that truck have already been bought. And I'm like, "Oh crap!" And she tells me, "Well, we do have one left, the Top Gun Gray SS 127." And I said, "I want it," And hindsight, she may have just been telling me that to make a sale.
Maybe.
If she was, kudos. That's a great sales tactic. You got me. But I got what I wanted out of the deal. So that's why right then and there, I paid for it over the phone. And was it the next day or like the following Monday? I went and picked it up.
I think it wasn't the next day. It was the day after that, I think, is when you went in.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I mean, I don't know if she was fibbing because at that time,
yeah,
we're going quick. I mean,
absolutely.
It was, unbelievable how quick the stuff was going. But yeah, I mean, either way you got it, it's a beautiful kayak.
I love it.
There's days I love my feel free. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love that kayak, and that's why I bought it. But I'm like, shit, I just got a Bonnie.
Right. And I think they're comparable. And you guys will see in the future, Rooster and I are going to do some head-to-head videos between the two yaks. And I believe that, honestly, they're going to be pretty much neck and neck, I think. I really,
they're both going to have their pros and cons. I think you're right. I think it'll be a pretty even playing field.
I will go ahead and give the nod to Feel Free. As comfortable as the Bonafide seat is, the seat on your Feel Free, if I'm thinking correctly, there is no presets. It's just up and down, and you move it to wherever you want, correct?
Correct. You can't go front to back. It's just
right. But, I mean, you can move it. If you want to move it an inch up, you can. If you want to move it half an inch up, you can. It's
Yes. Yeah, I think there is, don't quote me on this, but I think there is 10 different points
yeah.
that you can rate.
So the nod goes to Feel Free right there. Whereas with the Bonafide, you have high, low. Of course, you have 3 forward or rear positions with the seat. But anyway, let's go ahead and take our first break, and we'll be right back. So I want to take a second to talk about Anchor. Have you guys ever wanted to discuss certain topics with people on a broad scale, but you don't really know how? Well, that's where Anchor comes in. It is a podcast app that is 100% free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or the computer, whichever you prefer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else has podcasts. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. You just record, upload, Anchor will distribute it, and should you monetize it, you get paid for it. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So be sure to check out the App Store, download the free Anchor app, or go to anchor.fm to get started. No, looks like we've got our first bot in here in the comments.
I've got a second one, looks like.
Here we go. Man, those are getting bad.
Yeah, pretty quick. This is way off subject, but I got to do it for this show. I've been testing on my own with an app called Nightbot, and I'm sure a lot of people know, but it's supposed to help take care of that stuff, so we ain't gonna have to worry about it. We'll probably try to implement that in the future. Again, this is a learning curve for both of us because we're doing live for the first time, so it's kind of hard, we've got people commenting, and we're not trying to ignore you, but we're
right.
Yeah, so get that taken care of in the future.
Before we get into the meat of what we're going to talk about today, how do you feel about going ahead and spilling the beans on what we're planning on doing on the season finale? Or do you think we're there yet? Or do you think
it don't matter. I mean, we already determined what we're doing. I'll let you tell them what we get, but I'm going to say we talked about it on the first episode. Actually, I think we talked about it before the first episode when we were still doing kind of the test runs. The money we make off of this is going right back into the show for you guys, the viewers.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's making all of this possible for you guys. We appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. We absolutely appreciate it. So, I'll let you go ahead and talk about what we're going to do for the finale.
I was trying to pull it up, but I guess I don't have that. I guess I don't have that page open. I don't remember the name of it, but we're giving away a combo.
Yeah,
it's going to be. We'll talk about the specifics of what it is. Next episode, I'll have to find it, and pull it up. But we're giving away a pretty good combo. Except what we're gonna do is it's not gonna be on us until we have a winner, because I don't know how to go about shipping. Is whoever wins this giveaway, whenever it's ordered, we're going to put your address in and it'll just get shipped straight to your house. So we're going to cut out the middleman there and just get it sent shipped straight to you. So we'll go ahead and start now. If you guys want to get yourself entered into that, what we're going to need you to do is go to the Wiley Rooster Boys YouTube channel and comment on a video, any video, like the video and comment something along the lines of combo giveaway or something like that. So we have 6-7 more weeks until we're going to do this giveaway. So hopefully we can get a bunch of people in there. And
that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think combo giveaway. Personally, I think just leave the comment combo giveaway. I think we should just set that in stone.
Sounds good.
Combo giveaway.
And while we're on the subject,
I know everybody else can't see, but bullets. There's nothing. Wait till we get 10,000 in there.
Yeah,
that's right, man.
But while we're speaking on going places and looking at stuff, there's a supporter link in the description of this video, and should you decide to click on that and support the show, either 99 cents, $5, or $10 a month. Once we hit 10 supporters for this show, we're going to do another giveaway from Scissortail Forge, our good friend and knife sponsor, Mike Slauson, Slaw Dog. He is going to make a custom blade for one of those lucky 10 people. So if you guys are interested in that, awesome. We're not coming out hat in hand, but if that's something you guys want to do.
Well, I don't know if you can see it, but right there is my Scissortail Forge knife, and the camera's right there.
Yeah, mine's right.
That's John's boys. So
mine's right there.
They're really nice knives. I'm just saying, if it was me, I'd get into it before there was more than 10. But
yeah, absolutely.
I was going to ask you, we kind of have a main topic. I know it's a minute or two early. You want to go ahead and hit our last break so we can just
let's
on what we were going after?
Sounds good to me.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, y'all. I wanted to take a moment to tell you guys about one of our sponsors. Not only are they one of our sponsors, but they are an incredible American company, and they sell fire starting gear. The name of this company is Bigfoot Bushcraft. Now, this stuff works exactly as it is advertised. You take one of those plugs, expose the fibers, one strike with that ferro rod, you got yourself a flame. A decent flame at that. And this flame will burn for 5 minutes or more. So you get that thing put on your tinder, and that's more than enough time to get yourself a sustainable fire. So be sure to head on over to bigfootbushcraft.com. Use discount code WileyRoosterBoys, all one word, at checkout for 15% off your order. And every order placed with our discount code helps support our show. So get on over there, get you some gear, and get you a fire. It's kind of funny. This isn't anything outdoors, but Rachel and I just started watching Breaking Bad again. And if anybody's ever watched Breaking Bad, the camera work in there, it's not steady when you're watching it. And if you hadn't noticed this before, you will now. But the camera work is like, it kind of moves, it kind of shifts a little bit. And that ad just now, how you have the effect in there. That just made me think of if Rachel was watching this. I bet she was like, oh. But
You
guys,
had too much coffee to drink that day.
yeah, that's what it is. I bet I've had 2 pots of coffee.
Dude, you've been putting it down today.
But the main topic that we want to talk about this episode,
It's getting warmer.
It's getting warmer. And a few weeks ago, I had a hankering for some fish. So I went out. I caught about four. I caught 4 fish. One of them was over 5 pounds. 2 of them were about 4.5, and one of them was like three something. I felt bad, cutting up fish of that size, but dadgummit, man, they were good. So anyway.
Well, I mean, I just want to add real quick. I used to work for this company, did a lot of agriculture stuff, but we had this company come in, they'd sell fish, here in Texas, in this area specifically. There's a lot of people that have little ponds.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we'd sell the heck out of fish to people stocking ponds. And that was something they always told me, though. When you have a little pond like that, it's actually kind of critical to take, and it's not just a pond, a lake too. It's kind of critical to take fish out of it. I mean, it helps the population grow. So, I mean, it's
kind of like culling.
It's not something necessarily to feel bad about.
Yeah, I guess culling is the wrong word. Population control, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I went out and I got those fish, and I come back to the house, and I'm filleting them, and what did I find? Those 3, the 2 4s and the 1 5, they were females. They were plumb full of eggs. I'm telling you, them things. The egg sacs were probably 3.5, 4 inches long. I mean, plumb full of eggs. Now, does that mean that we're about to be spawning right now? Probably not.
No.
Especially since, in the past couple of weeks, we had a huge winter storm come through, and that's probably going to jack everything up. But that gave me that glimmer of hope that I've been looking for, and that's what brings us into the meat of our show, pre-spawn. Well, what works best for pre-spawn? A lot of folks say that it's red, and I don't disagree with that. And you were talking about some reasonings behind it earlier, like whether it be old wives' tales or myths or.
Well, I've read a lot of different things, and you listen to the professionals, and they talk about it. The whole point of the article is what they were saying is there's one thing that they can agree on, and that is red does catch fish.
Mm-hmm.
The reasoning behind it is where I mean, there could be. Well, I think me and you were talking about it. There was the crawdads molten.
Yeah.
There was another theory that bass can see red better than any other color.
Which makes sense, and that's why stoplights are red.
The contrast of red in the murky water is another one. I mean, there was a bunch of them, but
red is the fastest traveling color. I remember something about it in physics talking about that's why stoplights are red, because the human eye, or the eyeball period, sees red the fastest because it's that color travels. Something about physics, smart people stuff. I don't know, people who get paid a lot more than I do.
Right.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm getting over some upper respiratory infection stuff. It's not Rona. But whatever the reasons may be behind it, red works in pre-spawn. Oh, man. Sorry, guys. Now, does that mean that red is only going to work during pre-spawn? No, you can use red all throughout the year. Matter of fact, one of my favorite lipless crankbaits is, I think it's called Fire Craw. And it's, who makes that? I don't remember. But I use that thing pretty much all year long. Not very good.
That's that old, that Guggen one I got, that lipless.
Oh, that clutch?
Yes.
Okay.
That first time I took the thing, I think I caught 12 bass on it that day.
Well, daggum, really? Wow.
Yeah. Remember that day you were gone? Where were you? You were gone. Me and Joe went out.
Oh,
that was
the boys.
That day I had that awesome day. I had 21 bass for the day. Caught my new PB.
On the hospital. Still in the hospital with the boys.
Yes, your boys were being born. That's what it was. Yep. I got that lure because I sent you a picture of that lure.
Yes.
And I was like, check out this little dude.
Then you caught that fish, and I was like, dude, that fish weighs more than my newborn son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That thing's red.
But last year at this time, and this I am going to pick a bone with. Last year at this time, I was really excited. And granted, chatterbaits, I guess in this case, clickbaits, Guggen's clickbaits, are not necessarily ideal for colder water because, yes, you can fish them deep. I'm going to die. You can fish them deep, but the problem with them is, and maybe I'm doing something wrong, but anytime I throw out a clickbait, now, with a regular like Z-Man, chatterbait or a jackhammer or something like that, I feel it. I can feel that in the line. But with these clickbaits, I can't feel a dadgum thing. And they love to, no matter how slow you're reeling them things in, they love to climb. They just climb right up there. And if your cast may still be 30 yards out there, and you look out there, and as slow as you're reeling, that clickbait's on top of the water. Maybe I need to bend the blade. I don't know. But anyway, so I bought these red clickbaits because I'm thinking, all right, these are supposed to be just as good as jackhammers, and they're half the price. Well, I kind of understand why they're half the price now. And I could be doing it wrong. So, if you guys are killing it with those clickbaits, educate me. Maybe I am doing it wrong. But
we ain't never claimed to be pros here.
No, not at all. I'm a professional novice.
Yeah.
But something else that you were talking about earlier, something that's really good to do for pre-spawn is something that I would have never guessed, and it's Texas rig.
Yeah. So I was reading an article, and the guy, he makes a valid point. He really does. And he wasn't talking about red or nothing like that, but he was saying Texas rig. It's his favorite. And his reasoning behind it was pre-spawn, the water's still cold, so therefore the critters that live in that water are still kind of slow moving. But they are moving into a more feeding kind of trend or hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about using a little bit slower bait still, because you don't want to go real crazy fast. It's kind of really slow it down. His biggest thing was also talking about, okay, say there's a good shad supply in this lake. Try to find out about what the average size of those shad are, the exact color, and try to replicate that in your bait.
Match the hatch.
Yeah. Crawdads, what have you. So.
Well, and speaking to speed, in these cold months like this, and even maybe into pre-spawn, let's say you find a drop off or something, you find a ditch, somewhere in a body of water, and you got your fish finder, and you see the fish down there. I would suggest what you do is, once you find that spot, mark it, leave for about 30-40 minutes and come back. If those fish are still there, go for it. But you may just be wasting your time if you try to do it right off the bat, unless you have like Panoptics or Live Scope or something like that, and you can see that they're still there, because all other fish finders are the past. It's not showing you what's up right now. So what I would suggest about speed is, let's say you're throwing a Texas rig or maybe even a jig, and to echo something that Gene Jensen said. Sorry, I've been listening to a lot of him lately. Whenever you're casting something out there in the wintertime and that water is cold and those fish are lethargic, they don't really want to move around a whole lot, but they're hungry, well, cast out there, let it hit bottom, and if you think you're reeling too slow, slow down. He said that essentially you want to be counting rocks. If you can count the rocks at the bottom, you're doing good. And you might have an occasional pop or something like that, but it's just, you really gotta fish it slow. And the way that old Fluke Master put it, he said that if he knows he has like an hour left to fish in these current conditions, he's like, all right, I have 15 more casts. Okay, I got 20 more casts in that hour. And that tells you exactly how slow that you should be reeling in. Because cold water, look at you. How would you react if you're outdoors in the cold? Are you moving quick? Are you happy?
Exactly.
They feel just like we do, man.
Yeah.
And it goes for the same in extremely hot weather. You got if the water is 90, 95 degrees, they're going to be pretty slow too.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, you kind of touched on it there, and I don't want to go too far because I think that's a pretty key point is finding spots that go a decent route that go from deep to shallow,
Mm-hmm.
especially that has some cover along the way. That's going to be something because I mean the bass, you know, it's going to warm up. They're going to be going from the deep to the shallow a few times a day to feed. So that is something you definitely need to look for. That's going to be.
I'm sorry, guys. And
Hopefully
also,
you get it feeling better, man.
I know it. Also, a big one this time of year. Well, today, 40, 48 degrees. Well, the other day, yesterday, it was like 80 degrees.
Yeah.
Well, if you were to go fishing today, if I was to go out today to go fish, the number one place I'd be hitting is anything like rocks. If I know there's like a concrete bottom somewhere, if there's rocks, if there's big stones, something like that, because, you know, rocks absorb heat, they hold it. And with days like yesterday, that sun warmed up those rocks, and today it's cooler. Those rocks are still holding that temperature, and those bass want to get warmed up. So of course they're going to be hanging out over there by where the heater is, you know.
Yeah. So Clay. Yeah. No. Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the number one things I always heard.
Yeah.
Also heard fish side. I believe that sun touches first or something like that. I think that's what I've heard.
What was it?
Fish the side that the sun touches first.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
Just because the sun, if it touches it there first, it's probably going to be on that spot longer throughout the day. So.
Well, that would make sense. I like that. Huh. But I do know that whenever I do go out on the yak with the trolling motor, the first place I'm hitting is we're going out to the state park, or I want to go out to the state park. I'm going to that creek. I was looking at it on maps, and man, everybody says that that's like the best place to catch fish at that lake.
Really?
And, you know, normally it's kind of hard to get to just by paddling. You can do it by paddling, but, you know, it's pretty good ways.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I've been up to not the inlet, but you know how there's like a dam that goes across, and there's an inlet that goes into that back part, and then you can go up the canal. See, I've been up to that part. That
oh, really?
Area, and it's shallow, and it's nice up there. I mean, it's crazy we didn't see any fish when I went on that tournament with Chris, Uncle Tebow. We went up there, we didn't see a dang thing, but it looked amazing, dude. There was logs all in the water and all kinds of trees up in there. Real nice, but we didn't go that far up because it got pretty shallow. But
Bullets just now said, don't forget about black bottom rather than sand bottom spots, and that reminded me of something else. We were talking about Texas rig a minute ago. Okay, a lot of these places, in Texas at least, that I don't know, I haven't really fished anywhere else, but they'll have really silty bottoms, especially like stock tanks and stuff like that. People like to fish, and you know, my suggestion for that is, of course, a blind hog always finds an acorn. But if you're throwing a Texas rig out and you're letting it hit bottom, well, whenever you let that lure, that bait hit the bottom and those really silty bottoms, well, what happens? A big cloud of mud and silt flies up, and, you know, bass don't want to bite that. So what I would suggest whenever you're fishing areas like that is throw on a smaller weight, and try not to let your bait hit the bottom. Try to keep it just off the bottom. And I understand that's for some folks, for a lot of folks, me and myself included, that's easier said than done. But just remember, you want to keep it visible, and you don't want a big cloud of mud disguising your bait. And which, back on a Texas rig, whenever you're fishing cover, you know, there's a big difference between fishing cover and fishing structure. If you're fishing cover, you're going to want to use a big weight, a punching weight. And whenever you get through that cover, okay, let's say you have a 1 ounce bullet weight on there. In this instance, I would suggest using tungsten because it's smaller. But if you use a 1 ounce tungsten lead weight, you punch through that vegetation, and you're just letting it. You're working it there between the bottom and the underside of that coverage. All right, fish comes up, and do is just try to send that fish to the moon right then and there. But unless, especially, I mean, if you have your weight pegged, because what's probably happened is that fish has taken, bass are predatory, so they go for the head. They have probably taken your hook and your weight. So as soon as you go to set that hook and you have a rather large weight on that hook, what's going to happen is you're going to yank that weight out of that fish's mouth, causing separation. And you're probably going to miss that hook set. So whenever you're using big weights like that, be mindful and make sure you always wait until you feel the kind of a tug from the fish before you set that hook. Otherwise, you'll lose a lot of fish. You'll lose a lot of fish that way.
I'm sorry to laugh. When you said the weight, remember when we did the survival challenge, you didn't realize I had that on camera?
No.
Wait. It made me laugh. There was nothing wrong about it. What made me laugh was the point that you pointed out. We were using the wacky ring. And it was when you had that fish and you wait.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, the only reason it cracks me up is because it made you crack up. So
Yeah. I get very repetitive. Whenever, if you guys go and watch that survival challenge, I think I said, I think he's got it. Wait for it. Does he have it? Like 16 times. And then finally I set the hook because we were hungry,
We were hungry. And I think everybody does it, man. Don't beat yourself up. Man.
Yeah.
I know. Everybody gets excited.
And stuff just keeps popping back up in my head about the Texas rig. Something else. Should you peg your weight? And for those of you who may be unsure of what I'm talking about, pegging your weight is, well, they have weight stoppers, but they also have bobber stops. And weight stoppers are definitely better because they're more stout, but bobber stops will work just as good. And what you want to do, if you don't know what they are, YouTube them, look up how to set them up on a Texas rig. But what you want to do in those cases is if you're fishing around reeds or a lot of grass, something like that, you definitely want to peg your weight, because what's going to happen each time you try to flick that bait, your weight gets separated from your bait. And a lot of times, the action of the worm, flicks it a different direction than your weight, and it could potentially get covered or get wrapped around grass or canes or, something like that. So you definitely want to peg your weights whenever you're fishing around heavy cover, and you won't lose as much.
Yeah. So, Clayton, I'm going to answer your question. Folks listen to this on Spotify, Apple, all that. We kind of already touched on it, but I'm going to answer your question anyhow. Clayton asked, what are some good colors for this time of year? We kind of touched on red is obviously a color a person would use. There's other articles and stuff I've read about other people. They recommend using, besides red, natural colors that are going to be mimicking what's in that lake. There was a fellow that said, for example, if there's shad in that lake, find out what size the shad are and kind of what degree of color they are, or the crawdads or whatever, and try to mimic that.
But really, at this part of Texas, he says he's up in North Texas as well. I would say you can't go wrong with bluegill. Whatever, bluegill colors.
Pumpkin seed's not a bad one either.
Yeah.
That's not a bad color at all. And I know this is going to kind of affect everything else, but Clayton and Bullets, if you don't mind, let me know what channel you're watching this on live. I'd love to make you guys moderators. So,
I think we had discussed, this is episode 3, right? Yeah, this is episode 3. Are we going to continue to do on all 3 channels, or after this one, we're just going to go to the Wiley Rooster Boys?
I think we'll probably go a little bit longer.
Okay.
It was never set in stone yet. Eventually that's the goal. We're going to set this up to be just the Wiley Rooster Boy channel. Is where we'll do the live.
Okay.
But I
Clayton,
think I was with you. I think the other day you said you were fine with doing it on all three channels still. So
yeah. Clayton, you said you're in North Texas, buddy. March 12th, if you can make it to Fort Worth for the tournament, the Texas Bass Holes Kayak Bass Fishing Tournament. That's going to be an awesome time, man. We'd love to meet up with you. We'd love to meet you guys.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
A lot of fun. It's free to enter. If you listen to last week's episode, there's more details about it. But we'll be there with bells on. I mean, y'all just get ready to lose. I mean, that's all that is.
Dude, it's going to be a good time. I can't wait. I'm trying not to let last year ruin me, you know. He says Texas Wiles, so you will have to do the moderator part. If you don't know how to do that, we can talk about that later.
Okay.
But, okay. So, yeah, that's fine. Bullets. If that's the one you prefer, then that's the one I'll do you on. I might do you on both of them. And if Texas Wiles wants to do it, that way it doesn't matter which one you hop on. Yeah, we got kind of ruined on that last year one. You know, I mean, not really ruined, but it's
jaded, I would say.
Real hard fishing.
Yeah.
And, you know, hopefully it's better this year.
Well, I went out and I bought 4 new football head jigs, 3 new swim jigs, and a bunch of trailers. Mm-hmm. You know, and I'm going to put into practice what we were just talking about. They're not red, of course, although I probably should have bought some red because by that time we're probably going to be into spawn or pre-spawn. Yeah. But I bought those new jigs because jigs are super effective to use in cold water. Just work them slow on the bottom, and if any of you have ever fished Marine Creek Reservoir out there in Fort Worth off of 820, y'all know that sucker, the bottom is flat. Like it is flat. Yeah. And the fish love to hang out on the bottom. So I'm gonna be throwing me some jigs. And hopefully I got skunked last year, but
dude, what 90% of the people out there got skunked.
I think it was like 75 kayaks, and
if you watched the last episode, I don't know if you did, Clayton, it doesn't matter if you have kayak now. You can come out in an inflatable. What he was saying, it doesn't matter. It's just a good time. I think the only thing, if you want to pay money, is big bass. Was it $10?
5 or 10.
5 or 10, something.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But he also does giveaways for just folk that were there.
Yeah, I won that reel.
Yes, you won a reel. I mean, if you've never been to a Texas Bass Holes event, like it's something to do. I mean, this guy.
You'll leave there with a bunch more friends.
Yes, a bunch more friends, and I mean, this guy is, bar none, one of the best persons I've ever met. You know, as far as community wise goes, he's an awesome guy. Does a lot of good things. But you were talking about lures. Just the other day, but we just happened. We go to Walmart. And there's that clearance aisle. So my wife's always like, gotta hit the clearance aisle just to see what they got. Never get anything.
Over there by the garden section?
Huh?
Over by the garden section?
Not by the garden section. It's in the middle part of the store, kind of by the sewing area.
Okay.
But there's usually never nothing there. And we stopped by. Well, they had a bunch of hooks. Like it was mainly hooks, a little bit of weight stuff. I guess it's stuff that was high dollar nobody ever bought. They put on clearance because there's nothing wrong with packaging, but it says it's clearance.
I love those. Are those shaky heads?
They're for the wacky rig. They're the weighted.
Oh.
Weighted wacky head or wacky rig hooks.
Okay. I couldn't see them clearly. Look like shaky heads there first. Well, you can do wacky rigs on a shaky head. You can. Yeah. Pretty much do anything on a shaky head.
I've never used a jig head like that before for wacky rig. I thought it was pretty neat. Definitely going to try that. I was kind of watching a little bit of things, and I said, in wacky rig, there's really not a right or wrong reason or way to use it, So I thought maybe I wouldn't have to weight the worm doing it this way because you have to weight in the middle. It's going to make them arms go up. So
well, let's be fair. Those nail weights or wacky weights, whatever you want to call them, they are cheap. They are extremely cheap, but you go through so many of them. I mean, man, you better take at least 20 or 30 of them out there with you.
Yeah.
You lose them like crazy.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it seems like every fish you get, you lose a worm, or if you're lucky, you get it back, I guess. But
I still cannot believe that that last fish that we got on the survival challenge. If you guys have seen that sucker was maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches long. And now before anybody that wants to spout off regulations bites my head off, this is a private pond. It was on the property, and you know, we were eating it to sustain ourselves. But anyway, this little bitty dadgum fish, he bit that lure that was probably, let's say, and we just put it out there on a set line, and then we came back a couple hours later and he was there. But I just couldn't believe that that little guy bit that huge bait, and he stayed on. And we got busy cooking that thing while we were doing some crafting or something, building chairs, something like that. And we ended up essentially turning that fish into jerky, but hey, it's still ate. So
it always cracks me up when them little guys go after that. One of
they're
my
ambitious.
first videos, I used that buka, the bluegill swim bait, and I had a fish, I swear, a half the size of that little bass. Bam! Hit that thing. It just cracked me up, dude.
Yeah.
But that was the other thing they had in there, a bunch of 6 cents wacky hooks.
$2.12 for those? Dude, that's not bad.
I picked up a few of those, yeah. Yeah, dude, they had a huge box just full. I guess because they're high priced, nobody ever bought them, so they put them on clearance. They had a huge box of them.
Well, and that kind of goes back to something we've touched on before, is you don't need the most expensive stuff to catch fish. Fish don't care what you're using, you know?
We've always said that, you know, and that's just, we were talking about at the beginning of the show, the tungsten, you know, versus lead. Do you have to have tungsten and pay a little bit more? No. Is it going to improve your chances? Probably, but it doesn't mean you ain't going to catch fish on lead. I mean, people have proven that for years. I mean,
when it comes down to it, it's whatever works for you.
Absolutely.
If you can't get the cheaper stuff to work for you and you prefer the expensive stuff, go for it. But if the cheaper stuff's working for you, why waste money? You know?
Huh. I gotta talk about this because I'm intrigued now.
Yeah, I was too.
Clayton, for everybody listening, Clayton the fish nut ass. I have bad luck with lures. I normally go bassing with a live bluegill under a small water balloon.
That you're gonna have to explain that at some point.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
I mean, I understand the live bait, but the water balloon, is it for weight, or is it for? You got me confused.
I'm curious too.
I can't.
Of course,
I don't know.
He's a catfisherman. I don't know. He's got some tricks that we don't know about.
You got me thinking. I'm going to have to YouTube that now. Okay. And look who it is.
Yeah, I see that.
Look who it is.
I see that.
My beautiful wife has jumped on here, and she tell us more about cooking bass. Can we do an educational video? I personally, while I can cook them, in our household, for the most part, I'm the hunter. She's the cooker. And I am completely good with that. That's something that she loves to do. And how's about, darling, we will do an educational video on cooking bass, except it's going to be you. You guys let us know. Y'all want to see some of that stuff come up in the near future. We can definitely make that happen, whether it be indoor cooking, outdoor cooking, it don't really matter. But yeah, we can do that. We can do some catch and cook videos. Absolutely. He says, I just tie a hook on with no weight and a small water balloon and blow it up.
I think Rachel's been drinking.
That just invokes more questions, Clayton. What some people use small balloons as a bobber of sorts.
She's been drinking, I think.
How's that? What? Oh yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what a bibber is.
Oh yeah. 8 to 12. But so it's top water.
From what I would understand, he's using a live bluegill, so he's using the balloon
live bluegill. Live bluegill. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I told you guys I'm tired. So now I get it. Okay.
That's crazy.
All right. But yeah, I think that we should do some catch and cook videos in the near future. Bibber, bobber, tomato, potato. Guys, if you got, I appreciate everybody listening on the podcast apps, Apple and Spotify. But if you guys aren't watching this live, you're missing a lot of the fun. I mean, we try to stay on topic here, but you guys, it's a lot of fun having those comments and stuff on here, and it's interesting.
It is. But you got anything else to add, man? Looks like we ran in 50 minutes. A lot longer.
Oh, dadgum. Did we really?
Yes.
Nah, I think we about wrapped it up. I'm not going to give any details on next week, but next week is going to be good. It's going to be really good. I don't even think you know about this yet.
Yeah, I don't think I do. You sound pretty excited, so I'm pretty sure I don't know.
All right, guys. I guess we're going to wrap this one up. I hope y'all learned something from this one. Hope it was somewhat educational. Hopefully I didn't deafen y'all with all my coughing.
Oh, you're good. You're good. By the way, I wanted to mention Rooster Outdoors. We had a Hyundai. We're doing a giveaway Tail Valhalla.
Good deal.
Support our vets. Make sure we get there. If you ain't there, subscribe already. Let's get some vets some money. So,
absolutely. All right, guys. Until next time. Hopefully, the next video y'all will see from me is going to be testing out that new trolling setup on the Yak.
Can't wait, dude.
Till next time, guys. God bless. We'll see you later.